What's going on, everyone? Haydex Gaming here, and today I am bringing you a update patch notes walkthrough, or talkthrough rather. So this is for version 0.21.26, the settler commands and weapons, quality of life, and more. If you don't already notice, you can see that Necesse is currently on sale as well. So if you're watching this close to the release dates, it should be on sale. This is coming out instead of my usual Let's Play, but my usual Let's Play will also come out later on this week, just not on the Wednesday. So, let's jump in. Hey, Necessians or Necesses. I definitely think Necessians is definitely the better one. Necessian sounds way better than Necesses. But that's just my opinion. So a quick reminder, when using mods, it's a good idea to back up your saves. If you're experiencing problems, you can still switch to an older version of the game by going to your Steam library, right-clicking Necesse, going to Properties, Betas, selecting the version, and then closing the window, and you'll see it downloading that new version. So before we start with the update, I wanted to thank everyone who has been playing, giving feedback, and sharing the game. Necesse was released into early access in an extremely rough state and would not be the same game without your feedback to improve it. Leaving a review is one of the best ways to support the game, and it's an honor to work on a game with such potential both you and I are passionate about. So don't hold back. Even though I don't answer or react to everything, I do read all the reviews, Steam discussions, threads, messages in Discords, feedback submitted from inside the game, so keep it coming. So now let's get to the update. Before I go any further, I want to say a big shout out to Fair as well. He has done an amazing job at the game. I jumped in pretty early into the game, as you can probably see by my past videos, with certain bosses and biomes and stuff not being there yet. So seeing this game grow is amazing. I still have a ton of fun with it, and it still just keeps delivering new content. So let's jump in. This one is a pretty big step forward, more control over your settlement and settlers. With the ability to command your settlers more directly, raids and other events have the potential to become a lot more interesting. You can command them to guard a location, attack a target, and guard yourself around your settlement. In the future, you'll be able to make them prioritize certain jobs, follow you outside the settlement, and much more. So here you can see he's like highlighting them all and then telling them to attack a certain target. So he tells him to attack a target, highlights everyone, and tells them all to line up. And then he gets these two to attack that one. So being able to target them and like choose what they can do and what they can't do is going to be huge. In raids, instead of them being helpless, you can now command them or like instruct them to do things now. You can now also equip your settlers with a custom weapon. There are still some limitations to this, like summon weapons and a couple others that aren't working yet. But as you can see in this one, you can see them using some magic weapons. I think one of them has a sword later on. Yeah, this one here. One of the new deep swamp swords. If you haven't checked that out already. You can now also equip with custom weapons. There's still some limitations, yada yada yada. With this change, settler stats and raids have gotten a few tweaks to be better balanced. Balancing is something I will keep a close eye on, and a mid-patch update if needed. In the next update, I'll be working on a way to manage your settlers' gear better, allowing them to equip themselves from gear found in your settlement storage. That's gonna be interesting, because I'm gonna now have to dedicate a chest for them not to touch, in case I want to swap my armor set out. I don't want to have to find whichever village has got it on them. You know, the thing with sibling rivalry, them wearing your clothes. The same thing with the settlers. This update also introduces more quality of life features suggested by you. You can now see how many resources you have for each ingredient on recipe tooltips. Boss drops will now show a light beam, making them easier to find, and you can now lock your hotbar. You can disable showing the total available ingredients inside the interface settings. So here you can see the boss drop beams. There's a purple one and the red one. That's super nice. I love that. It's so small, but it adds such depth to the game. And then 10 out of 17 of any log, 2 out of 0. So on the left is what you need, on the right is what you have. And then of course that can be turned off in the interface settings if you don't like that, because I'd imagine it's not for everyone. Some of the other features in this update include updating to Steam networking, hopefully fixing issues some people are having when connecting through the Steam friends. Standalone rocks in all the different caves, spicing it up a bit, nice. So you can see down here the different standalone ones, so they look like they've got some variety now. A couple more armor sets. Interesting. Your settlement menu scroll state is now saved between exiting and entering. That's nice. Bigger rooms before they are considered outside. At some point, I plan to rework this with roofing. So if you built a room that was too big, it wouldn't be technically classified as a house. And because of that, the roof wouldn't go over it. Now, the roof still doesn't go over it, but it will be technically classified as a house. So I guess you can have outdoor houses now, technically, if you build it big enough. Different textures for the enchantment scrolls. That's a big one people have been asking for. So like to differentiate between summoning scrolls or like range scrolls and melee scrolls. Controller improvements and fixes, a bunch of other small changes and fixes. You can read the full changelog below. Thank you for playing and keep the feedback coming in. Fair. I honestly, as the game is as it is, I can't fault anything. It's amazing. Of course, I've got my own feedback, not feedback, but like suggestions that I'd like to see, and I've thrown them in the Discord already. And I'll have a link to the Necesse Discord in the description below if you guys want to share your thoughts and opinions as well. So, into the changelog additions. Added the ability to command your settlers. Added the ability to equip your settlers with weapons. We saw that. The interface for showing the total ingredients. We saw that. The ability to lock the hotbar. We saw that. Light beams above bosses. Swamp and snow surface rocks have been changed. Scattered rocks throughout the caves. Columns for all stone types. This is nice. Because I think as far as I can remember, it was just the desert that had some. Added a texture for each type of enchantment scroll. Nice. Added mycelium scarf armor and set bonus. That's new. So that's part of the deep swamp, I believe, or deep desert. I forget which one mycelium is. I think it's deep swamp. Added cloth robe armor available right from the beginning. Nice. Added a settlement flag phase at the end of the tutorial. Wicked. So at the end of the tutorial, it gets you to place your settlement flag. That's cool. Added DPS tracking of each training dummy. Nice. Changes in miscellaneous. Rebalance settler and raid stats to better match the new commands and settler weapons. So I'd imagine they've been tweaked a little bit harder. So for those of you playing on hardcore modes, good luck. Reworked pathfinding to be more efficient. When the craft all hotkey is held down, the crafted items will go straight to your inventory. Nice. There is now a shorter time between starting to hold down craft until it starts repeating. So when you're creating bulk, instead of it going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 100, it does that much faster. Increase the maximum rune size before it is considered outside from 300 to 500, so that's square meters. All cave rocks textures now fade into the ground more. The default sound device will now update when the game window toggle is being active. Nice. So that one's a big one. If you were listening through your speakers and you open the game and changed your headphones, the game wouldn't change to the headphones until you restarted the game. So now it'll do that when you reactivate the window. The scroll state of the settlement menus will now be saved between opening and closing them, which is nice. Controller. I don't know if there's many people that play with controller, but here it is. Your selected inventory slot will now be remembered through a loading menu. Actually, I guess controller would come in a lot with the Steam Deck now. I've seen a ton of people playing with the Steam Deck, and it'd be so much fun to play on. Zoning tools now have better controls when using controller. You can now lock and move settler rooms when using the controller. Menuing is now better at selecting buttons based on previous selected. It's now possible to send chat messages with controller. That's cool, especially for multiplayer. Controller aim reticle will now show the direction if outside or behind a window. Perfect. Fixed sometimes not being able to retrieve items when talking to settlers while using controller. That's weird that that's a controller issue. But it's crazy how stuff like that happen. But it's glad it's fixed. Fixed controller craft inventory not working when holding down the button to craft more. Fixed using binoculars and sniper rifle zoom with the controller. Fixed the landfill placing not working correctly with the controller. Modding changes. Added a warning if an attempted mod patch never actually did anything. Increased the limit of fishing lines to 1,000. It's now possible to know which objects projectile hits. That's cool. So you can have like actual target practice now. Added the ability to detect when a client submits an attack that should have failed. So a bunch of stuff that the mod APIs can grab and use to help create the mods and to allow better flexibility and like bug finding. fixes. Fixed issues some people were having when connecting to Steam. Wicked, we saw that one earlier. Fixed crafting lists not updated when nearby inventory as contents change. That's huge. Fixed possible crash when opening settlers menu after loading. Fix the mod mismatch. Use server mods button not working correctly. Fixed delete server confirmation not showing the name correctly. Fixed some cases where players would desync when using objects like beds. That's good, because a lot of people desyncing in multiplayer, and it was a big thing. It was getting real tough to play with your friends. Fix some buttons overlapping with the scroll bar in the settlements menu. Fix being able to use mounts when sleeping. I've never tried, but I guess I can't try that anymore unless I went to an old version. Fix possible crash when handling inputs on max. And other small changes and fixes. So that is huge. So many fixes there, so many equality of life changes. The beams, probably the most standoutish for me. It gives it like a Diablo feel. Like, you know, when you look at a legendary drop or something and that like the light beam glowed up. That's so cool. The ability to like move your own NPCs now is amazing, and it feels like a lot more like a city builder but survival at the same time in like real-time strategy. So that's a ton of fun. So that's version 0.21.26. Let me know what you guys think. What would you like to see in the game? Otherwise, what would you like to see different in the game? So let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you want to see more Necesse content. I do every week. I'll do one episode of a Let's Play. I'm currently up to the swamp boss, the deep swamp boss, and he currently kicked me to the curb in the last episode. So next episode, I want to beat him. So stick around for that. But above all else, I hope you enjoyed the content, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.